We start with football, and it was a busy night last night with a number of our sides in action. Preston North End eased their relegation worries as they won 1-0 away to Notts County. A Hayden Hollis own goal gave the North End the victory and saw County lose for the first time in 8 games. Not to forget, we also have Blackburn Rovers in action tonight as they look to reach the FA Cup semi-final. Rovers faced Millwall in the replay of their quarter-final tie after a goalless first game last week. Michael Afton's side are only one of 2 teams not to concede a goal in this year's competition, alongside Manchester City, and Rovers could again turn to Leon Best, Josh King and David Dunn after all 3 returned to fitness recently. On to non-league, and our local side Bamber Bridge made it 6 wins in a row last night as they beat Salford 4-2. Brig are an outside bet for a playoff place and will be right behind their push for promotion over the next few weeks. Only a handful of boxers get the chance to fight in a foreign country. Preston's SUS member is set to join the esteemed club when he fights in Zambia this summer. I caught up with him before one of his rigorous training sessions. This is a massive opportunity for Member to make a name for himself in the boxing world. He's clearly committed to giving a good account of himself and training hard for the upcoming encounter.
I'm in the best shape I can be at this present moment. We've still got nearly 9-10 weeks to the fight. I'm going into full training. I've never stopped training. People that know me, I'm a fitness fanatic. Weight-wise, we've got 9 weeks to get down to 10-7, which is a welterweight limit. So yeah, I'll be in the best shape ever. I mean, I'm one of these. Every single fight is my last fight. Every single fight is a world title fight. So I sort of like look at myself as is that when boxers say, "Well, I've trained the best I've ever trained for a fight." Well, hang on a minute. Every single fight you have, every training session you have, it should be the best training session you've ever had. That's my attitude, and that's how I live it.
The Southpaw is eagerly anticipating his fighting debut on the international stage, and despite not knowing much about his opponent, is confident he can make a good impression.
It's a guy called Gift Chilambe. He's had 6 fights as far as I know. I'm not quite sure what his record is. It's 6, and I think he's won 4 of them. So he's an handy lad, but there's only one win. He's getting knocked out on the night.
The 34-year-old is hoping a win will lead to bigger and better things, silence his critics, and promise viewers an exciting show.
It's a case of suck it and say, get there, let's win, take it a fight at a time, famous last words, fight at a time, win, knock him out, win it, and then we'll see what's on the table after that. But it's a massive opportunity. The fight is getting televised live to 72 different countries all over the world, and that alone is a massive opportunity. Put my talents on showcase and then let people see what SUS member can do, rather than just reading about it. And it's all good and well people having a pop at you and saying, oh yeah, it's this and it's that, and yeah, good. Well, I'll tell you what, come and watch it and then see, put your feet up and enjoy it on the night, because I can tell you now, there's going to be fireworks.
Professional boxer SUS member is well into his preparations for the biggest fight of his career this summer in Zambia. The Preston-born fighter is ready to show the boxing world what he can do. Phil Hile, Sports Northwest.
Things have come on an awful long way in 20 odd years, and there is a system available now where supporters have the choice whether they want to stand or sit.
You were at Hillsborough on that day the tragedy happened, you saw the horrible things. What's changed between now and then that makes it alright?
Oh, a lot's changed. I hope it should never have happened in the first place, but it'll never happen again in football. But I think the all-seater stadiums that we've had have been great in lots of ways. But I remember being at Anfield when they closed the Cop as well for the last game, and despite all the tragedy, I honestly think that nobody really wanted to lose it. So I think now we've got a way of introducing those standing areas back, which are such a big part of football and have been over the years. But the main thing, it must be safe.
As you said, you went to Liverpool the summer after Hillsborough. Is it true that the Cop used to sing "You'll Never See the Cop"?
I believe that was right. Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head, being all those years ago. But I think that was the strength of feeling. I think every football club is, to a certain degree, identified by that end that they had. It's the Cop, used to be the Stretford end, or whatever. And I think a lot of supporters, don't mind the financial issues as well, that it would be cheaper to stand than sit. But I just think it would improve football all around in the atmosphere in grounds, and give people a cheaper option to go and watch the games.
You played in all-seater stadiums and ones with a terracing. Is there a significant difference in atmosphere?
Yeah, atmosphere, terrace, supporters standing is by far the best atmosphere. And as I say, I think quite a few supporters would prefer that. You see them now. It's also ridiculous because they just stand up anyway. They've got a seat, and an awful lot of supporters, despite being told, stand up anyway. So once somebody stands up in front of you, if you want to see the game, you've got no option but to stand up as well, and that spreads throughout the ground. So we have a certain proportion of the crowds do it anyway.
Ian Holloway's tenure at Blackpool was one of the most exciting periods in the club's history. When the charismatic manager left for Crystal Palace, his colourful press conferences were a thing of the past.
The goal we let in was as soft as a wet potato, wasn't it, let's be fair.
But there's a new man at the helm now. Michael Appleton has made an unspectacular start as manager of Blackpool, with 5 draws and 1 victory in his first 6 games. One thing in particular the 37-year-old is trying to alter is the team's style of play.
I still think at times in games it's a little bit we attack you, you attack us. That's what I'm trying to get out of the players. You know, we're working on it every day and we're trying to install into the players. So it is a work in progress, and I'm sure over time, you know, we'll get it right.
Defender Kurt Broadfoot has started the last 4 games under Appleton, and the former Rangers right back is enjoying the new style of play.
I think maybe the new manager's more disciplined in the style of play, which personally suits me, and I think suits the players we've got here. I don't think in football sometimes you can attack. I think you need to look at the game, and if you're up to 0 and be sensible, keep your shape, keep us playing, and we'll win the game if we don't concede.
Broadfoot was also adamant the club haven't diluted their ambitions since the change of manager.
No, I don't think so. I don't see why it should change. I think the new manager coming in will obviously want to go to the Premier League, be a Premier League manager. I don't think, from a personal point of view and from a manager's point of view, I think we've got to try and get into the playoffs and try and push for that, and I don't see it changing with any manager really. Any manager wants to win every game, and so does players, so I can't see that changing, or is wanting to get to Premiership.
William Watt is a reporter for the Blackpool Gazette, and the Tangerines fan thinks Appleton has managed to lower the expectations of the supporters.
I think the expectations amongst the players is exactly the same. I think what Appleton's cleverly doing is lowering the expectation with the fans by saying, oh yeah, we're probably not good enough to go up and things like that. But I think that's more mind games than anything else. I think if you got him in his darkest moment and asked him to tell the truth, he would probably say that he'd be disappointed with this squad if he didn't make the top 6, I'd imagine. With
January's transfer window fast approaching, it looks likely that Appleton will be given money to spend by owner Carl Oyston, so Blackpool supporters should see a few ins and outs in the new year.
It's one of them where, you know, we've had a conversation about January and we know where we are with it. The chairman knows exactly what I want to do and the amount of players I want to bring in if I can. You know, we'll keep that to ourselves for the time being, but you know, there will be a few changes.
We're just going to go over now to our reporter Phil Hile, who's going to be giving us a preview ahead of the UCLan second women versus the University of Sheffield first women's. What can you tell us, Phil?
Yes, Ollie, I'm here at the UCLan Sports Arena for UCLan Women's Cup game against Sheffield Firs, with UCLan playing in a lower division than their opponents. This could be a tough game for them, but coach Andy Haythornwaite is in a confident mood this afternoon.
What's happening there, Phil?
Still 0-0. They haven't really had any meaningful touches in the Sheffield half so far. Goalkeeper Laura Miller looks to be in for a busy afternoon today, having constant shots peppered at her goal. The closest was a shot from Rachel Burden, the Sheffield right midfielder, saved with the feet of Miller. But Sheffield are camped in the UCLan half, and UCLan really do need to weather this storm. For once, at the UCLan Sports Arena, we are without rain and wind, so hopefully that will constitute to a good passing game, but still 0-0. Great start for UCLan. 2-0 up after 22 minutes, and they're flying now. It had looked like Manchester was starting to get the foot on the ball a little bit more here, but that was a silly foul by their defender in the box. He had no need. He should have leapt with his defender for the header instead of tugging his shirt needlessly.
We're actually going to go to the football now. We're going to go to Phil Hile. It's UCLan seconds against MMU Cheshire first. Phil.
Hi Dan. Still 0-0 here, but UCLan seconds have definitely had the best chance. Bruce Couprier, was the French centre-half, was a threat from set pieces against Manchester Met last week, and he's at them again this week. Free kick crossed into the area. Coupier ghosted in at the back stick and he should have done better, but glanced his head just past the post. Still 0-0.
And now we have live commentary with Phil Hile, who's taken over the reins from the UClan seconds against MMU Cheshire. It was a 6-goal thriller, 3-3 here. And can Phil bring us up to date with this game?
Hi Martin, and it's now a 7-goal thriller, 4-3 to UClan. It was Sam Holden who got the goal a couple of minutes ago for UClan. Sent through down the right-hand side, brushed his man aside and calmly fired him into the bottom left-hand corner of the net. So UClan have completed the comeback. MMU started the second half like a train after, well, they couldn't string 2 passes together first half, but they really came out fighting second half, and UClan really couldn't match their intensity, but I think MMU that's tired them out really, and UClan have got more quality in the side, allowing that to show now, and it's a throw-in to MMU, long one, but guess who, Goose Coupier heads it clear. He's missed one header today, and it led to a Jack Kenny goal, who has got 2. He was boasting to the UClan sidelines that he'd get his hat-trick.
Yeah, we're going to go to Phil Hile at UClan seconds against MMU Cheshire first. I believe it's all square. Phil?
Yes, it's all square now, Dan. MMU look like a completely different side this half, and they've deservedly made it 2-2. Free kick was whipped in from the halfway line, and Bruce Coupier missed his header, and Jack Kenny, man he was marking, rose to head it past Rock Hepburn in the net. And MMU just scored. They are now winning 3-2. Now number 11, Jack Siddle, was sent through and slotted home past Rock Hepburn. 3-2 to MMU, and they are very happy. The keepers run the length of the field to join the celebrations.